I was trying to think today whether I'm just in hundreds of estates or has it been more than 1,000? I don't know, but it's at least been several hundred. And everyone is unique. Everyone is different. And I'm going to start with kind of the vague statement that the executor's job is generally they have a duty to move things along at a reasonable pace. Well, what things do they have to move along at a reasonable pace? Let's go through that. So, and before we go through the steps, let me talk about what's normal. Who's the typical person that gets appointed as an executor in a will? So I'd say and whether common is right or wrong, that's another discussion. But I'm just going to tell you what's common because I've read thousands and thousands of wills after people have died, and I know who typically gets appointed. And so now, whether that was a good appointment, that remains to be seen. And you don't even know until after the person passes away and they start performing or not performing their duties as the executor. But I'd say it's very common for a married person, if they write their will, they're going to say, I appoint my spouse as my executor. And then it's strongly advisable to name a backup to the spouse because the spouse may predecease the person writing the will. So it typically says something like, I name my spouse as the executor. I would say it's most common if the person writing the will has adult children to say, I name my spouse as my executor, and I name my adult child, list out the name, as my alternate executor. Could there be co-executors? Maybe. We'll talk about unique circumstances in a few minutes. But I would say that's most common. Does it have to be a relative? Doesn't have to be. It typically is. It could be a relative. It could be a friend. Some people say, I got 3 kids. And you know what? Based on their kind of relationship stuff that's going on, I don't think it would be good to have my kids or even have one of my kids being in charge of settling my estate due to the relationship dynamic that are involved. So some people will appoint an acquaintance, a friend, relative or professional, but I'm here to tell you I've read enough wills to know that most people appoint their spouse and an adult child as the backup. Okay, so they're the first job typically is kind of like the first job I told you a few minutes ago when my mother passed away was they they've got it that executor very likely gonna have to get with the lawyers and and court documents the first round of